Yeah. It's the return of the wild style fashion and smashing hits, make it hard to adapt to this. Put pizzazz and
Oh, hey everybody. I know I haven't been updating you guys about my progress. I know the last update was I think about 5 weeks out from the competition, and the competition was about 3 weeks out, or 3 weeks ago. So yeah, a lot has happened. What I first want to talk about, or actually what I do want to talk about overall, is how my training went. I wasn't able to do a vlog because I was sick the week prior to the meet. I do want to talk a little bit about the meet, and maybe a little bit on what my plans are and what I'm going to do from here on out. So we left off at 5 weeks out from the competition. I was experiencing some knee issues, so I had to work kind of around it, and in order for me to get through my training, I had to, because when I was experiencing pain, it was mostly at the bottom position on my squat towards the end towards the end, getting a rebound. So I had to modify my squat form a little bit, and had to descend on the eccentric portion a little more carefully, and on the air of caution, and kind of cut depth there. So that peak week, going into the peak week after the 2 deload weeks, I was kind of concerned about the depth, but the strength was still there. I was progressing, so I was happy with that. So talking about that training peak block, yes, I did mention that I was working around some issues. From time to time, training, you're always going to have some issues, and you're going to have to work around it. Depending on how, the severity of it, you may need professional, you may have to have a physician or professional advice, regarding it. So in this case, I did. It wasn't major, and I allowed some time off and worked around it. So in this case, it worked out for me. In many cases, it may not. I was injured about 2 years ago, ankle injury, and I was also prepping for a meet, and that actually took me out about 4 to 5 months. So there was some strength gains during that training block, but yeah, I had to take some time off, and I was thinking this training block, I did not want that to happen again. So I stuck to the plan, and I made some adjustments as needed. So a lot of MRAP testing, which is good, and it's there for a reason. You kind of gives instant feedback on how your progress is doing. So I want to let you guys know that I don't do my own programming. That I do have a coach, and his name is Lee from Panthera Training Systems, which they're very excellent. But going into this meet, it alleviated a lot of that kind of like what if, or any last minute changes. So it's kind of great to have kind of someone there, either coach, mentor, your friends. I want to mention my friends that I train with at Barbell Brigade, the people that I network with, on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. It's a lot of help, and a lot of the professionals too, that constantly put out information there to kind of help the community, which is great. So there's so many sources. You don't have to rely on one, and you can always you don't necessarily have to have all these resources. There's just so many to choose from, and in the long run, it's your journey, and you just want to have fun with it and do your best. So I went a little bit off of a tangent there. So as far as training went, it went according to plan, and I was satisfied with it. So with the current conditions, we continued. The last week before the meet, I actually got really sick. I don't know if you guys remember.
Or nah.
Yeah, I couldn't talk. I was out. Luckily, I took some time off work, and thankfully, because I would have recovered for the meet. So going into this meet, I really wanted to do my best, and I had a plan. My coach set out for me. I followed through with it. Again, there were other friends there with me that helped me out, which it's very helpful if you're thinking about your first meet. It's great to kind of have these resources, but like I mentioned before, it's not a necessity, but it helps. So going to the meet, I had a plan, and I was rushing a lot of things, warming up. So I had a friend told me to kind of slow down, which is great. And being a spectator and actually competing it's different. I've attended a couple different meets. I attended the USPA meet to support a bunch of friends. I competed a couple of weeks prior to that, and a couple meets before that. But spectating it or watching it is one thing. I tried to kind of absorb the environment and get familiar with it. My own meet, that was like a totally different ball game. Yes, I was familiar with like a lot of the stuff. I kind of read the rule book. Actually, I did go through the rule book. I talked to a lot of other people that do compete, asked them questions. Got help that way to kind of familiarize myself with what I'm going to be doing. My coach and teammates also helped out. When I see them compete, I kind of take notes, on performance, what they do in between, before and after the competition, and just things like that, just so I can have like a mindset, to get when I'm going in and making those attempts. So meet went really well. It went 9 for 9. I'm not sure if you guys saw the previous video I made. There was no vlog, but I finished second, hit some PRs, followed through with the plan, and overall it was a great meet. I couldn't ask for more. Everybody that I got in contact with, or that kind of passed by, or I met, while training, I'm glad that I met you guys. It really helped out, and it was great. As far as plans here on out, I'm actually moving back into weightlifting and powerlifting. I actually started out doing that last summer, learning the weightlifting movements, and still incorporating the powerlifting movements. I think those lifting movements are important from a athletic performance point of view. Look at a lot of athletes. Yeah, there's individualized programming. My interests are in the sport of weightlifting, powerlifting, and bodybuilding. But for performance, for sports athletes, some of these movements are included in their programming. So I think there's a value in learning these movements and also incorporating them. However, depending on your sport, there's a specificity for it. So in my example, I didn't have actually any weightlifting movements moving closer into the powerlifting meet. I wanted to really get the most out of my squat, bench, and deadlift in the meet, so kind of dialed the notch down on the weightlifting portion. Now working back into weightlifting, I'm not going 100% into weightlifting. I don't. That may change though. So right now I'm doing a hybrid program, also with the same coach, weightlifting and powerlifting, and then of course that will change if I decide to, go on to another powerlifting meet, or try out, the weightlifting platform, which is also one of my goals. So that'll be pretty interesting. yeah, so a lot of that, it involves time. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more people that I'm going to meet. And if you guys are following and listening, I want to say, thank you very much. And if there's anything in particular that you guys want me to talk about, as far as like training, nutrition, supplementation, the mindset that I kind of get into before training, the planning involved, I'm welcome to talk about it. You can email me. You can contact me on my Facebook or Instagram. I'm more than welcome to talk about it. But from here on out, I think I'm just gonna kind of update you guys on, still update you guys actually on my training, my thoughts I may do. I actually kind of want to do voiceovers on the and commentary on the training. So hopefully I can give you guys an idea of my training style, or what I'm training for, and then maybe you guys can pick up some tips, or if you guys see something, you can let me know. Help each other out. But yeah, it was a great 3 months over 3, 4, like maybe 5 months into training for this powerlifting meet. So thankful that I actually finished it, and just want to kind of end off and just give a general kind of tip for you guys, like whatever it is, in whatever it is that you're working towards, don't stop. There's a reason why there's barriers or setbacks. There's always going to be like kind of like a 2 steps forward, 1 step back kind of progression. But yeah, whatever your goal is, don't quit. Powerlifting was always my, I always wanted to get onto the platform. After getting injured, it was kind of like, kind of an emotional thing for me, because I was training so hard for it. But yeah, I took a big setback, almost half a year, and I continued. I had a passion for, training, nutrition, helping people out, watching other friends, athletes, do their best, overcome obstacles. Those are the things that kind of like, I had a passion for, that motivated me, and it's kind of like I want to kind of reflect that, because I think it's kind of like an aspect and characteristic that should be, shared with a lot of you, with everyone. And it doesn't stop just at the gym. It doesn't stop. Your PRs don't stop at those lifts. Those things kind of carry out within your life. Then you kind of balance that with everything else. Whether it be school, business, work, family, friends. It's something you kind of want to just be a part of your life, and share it. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching again. I appreciate you guys listening. And if there's anything else, comment below. Be more likely to, more than happy to talk about it. And yeah, so I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the return of the wax.
Or nah.
Style fashion is smashing hits, make it hard to adapt to this.